Welcome back, family. Welcome back.
All right, y'all. Welcome back, family. Welcome back. So on this episode, we wanted to talk about some of the messages we've been getting in DMs. Probably because people are a little afraid to put some of these things on the comments, but don't be afraid. Other people are asking these questions, so definitely put them in the comments. But we want to go over a couple of the things that we've been getting in our DMs a lot, just to answer a few questions on how we actually do this whole RV life.
So the first question we get is, how will our kids make friends? This is kind of a multi-part answer. They're military children anyway, so they have friends everywhere. We can just travel to go see them, which we've done in the past anyway, so it's not really a big difference. Also, as we go out places, the kids have started to meet friends. The oldest is a teenager, so she's a phone. And they just kind of exchanged numbers, started talking and texting and just becoming friends along the way.
Yeah, if you're intentional about your friendships, you're going to keep them regardless. It's 2025. Internet is a thing. So if you want to FaceTime them, if you want to call them, text them, play games and stuff, you can do anything that you normally would do anyway with your friends, just in like various locations and stuff like that, right? Yeah, around other RV kids, they're out and about. Like it's crazy how they'll drop their phones for a really long time to be outside actually having real connection with people. Yeah.
So the next one is, how will they go to school? Homeschooling has always been a thing, but for us, we chose online school for our high schooler. We found a school that lines up with her goals. She wants to go to MIT, so we get her on the right track, and I am not MIT worthy of teaching. So we found a school that's completely online. They let us choose the schedule. They have very flexible start times. And it was really affordable too.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description below about that school, because of course when we started as a military family, so we were in one place and they went to public schools. But with the way that public schools have been trending recently, it's a lot safer to start homeschooling kids. And we just want to make sure that our kids are learning and growing in a healthy place, not fearing for their lives. I think that's every parent's dream, right? All right, so another question is, how do you live on top of each other as if we're just like sleeping in a pile on top of each other inside of this RV? We have enough space so that everybody has their own space. Not only just their own space, but you can even make special hidden spaces like that, I like to say, all over this RV. So we have a fifth wheel that has the girls' room in the back, mid-living, and then our room is up at the top. We find our groove, our rhythm, and when we need our alone time, when we need our own space, type of thing.
For the girls' room, yeah, they share, but they have their own curtains, and it gives them their separation. But I mean, honestly, we don't. It's really more like apartment living, honestly. Yeah. We still have all the same space. And as far as like the smaller quarters, you just kind of get used to walking around each other or waiting for your turn.
Yeah.
And I think it's really only in the kitchen that's a problem.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, it's...
And sometimes being tight is an excuse for a hug, right? Like, ooh, I'm sorry, I gotta get through real quick. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just need to bump into somebody you love every once in a while. So another question that is like probably one of the most asked questions in our DMs is, how do you live without a home? And this is our home. So like, we're not living without a home. We just take our home everywhere we want to go.
I also like it because the kids' bedtime routine, well, I guess the younger one, will never get thrown off.
Right.
Because she's in her bed, in her kitchen, in her living room, her bathtub. So it's
doing her thing with her stuff, right? Like, especially if you have some kids that maybe get overwhelmed with a lot of sensory stuff going on, a lot of change. If you have some kids that are like that, having consistency for them is very helpful. So I mean, like, we don't have problems going to bed like we would if we were going from hotel to hotel or doing those type of things. Of course, we have the normal, I don't want to go to sleep, but you know.
That's just being a kid.
Yeah, that's just being a kid.
So another big question is, where will all of our stuff go? So we did keep a storage room for our big furniture, and that's just kind of, in the event we didn't like it. 2 years later, I think we're actually good on that. But then we downsized massively. We thought we had did a good job when we first moved in, and then it turns out we were way over. I think in the last 2 years, we have donated probably an entire home's worth of stuff to Goodwill. So probably the most asked question is how long we're gonna be on the road. And the short answer is we don't know. We're gonna keep going until we either get bored of it or find some place we want to settle.
Yeah. And even if we find a place that we want to settle long term, I still think we're gonna like go take trips. Because I mean, like, I haven't been in one place for more than 5 years for a really long time. I haven't been in a place for more than 3 years in a really long time.
So along the same lines of kids making friends, we've also been asked, like, how do you stay connected with people? I think this question comes more from people who are near their families up front and they're in the hometown or nearby their hometowns to start with. Since we're not, and we haven't been in years, it's not really a big deal for us to not be near family.
Yeah.
You're just really intentional about going to visit them, keeping in touch with them. It's 2025, there's technology everywhere. So just being really intentional, and we're not near family anyway now.
Yeah. I've not been from where I'm from for so long that it's not even where I'm from, or that even makes any sense. But like, being out and about, you have to be intentional about the relationships you want to keep. So like, if you really want to talk to somebody, you're going to talk to them. If you don't really want to talk to somebody, you're going to just stop talking to them, right? With us being connected remotely, we have Starlink, we have FaceTime, we have video games, we have intentional planning to go see the people that we want to go see. So we put it into our family roots to go see these people, and we haven't had a problem staying connected.
Yeah. I think we've seen most all but one of my best friends since we moved in.
We got a ton of people to see.
Yeah, we do.
A ton of people to see because, like, again, being military, people get moved all over the place. So we have people all over the place that we need to see on our family roots. All right, another question is, how are we traveling? So if you haven't been watching the show, just to catch you up, we got a fifth wheel. And so we pull our fifth wheel everywhere we go. There's a whole bunch of different types of RVs, and people like driving in C's, big motorhomes, the Class A's, buses. People make RVs out of vans. They make RVs out of cars. Like, people are making recreational vehicles that if we put out of anything. But we chose this one because it just fit our family, right? And we like being able to tow our house, sit it down, and use the truck to go wherever we're going to. Other people like their motorhomes where they can keep like a small car on the back and drive that around instead of, a huge truck. And it really depends on what your lifestyle is if you're gonna do this full time, like what type of RV you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as like actual travel plans, we've been mostly stationary. Just because when we started, we were still working. We usually plan a trip. We try to do one a quarter, bare minimum. And anytime we had time off, any of our long weekends, we would go
somewhere.
Yeah. I think right now our plan for like full launch is 2 to 3 weeks in a place, and then move on because moving this thing costs money.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how that's going to go because sometimes we may think that we're going to be there for a couple of weeks and there might be something that pops up and we got to skedaddle to the other thing. And it's not like we can't skedaddle because, again, we've been stationary for work and then we go when we have free time. So, like, we have stretched out to Florida. We have gone up to Idaho. I mean, like, we have pushed the limits of how far we can go during our leave just to really experience what America is. And so, like, once we have nothing but time, as some say, then we can slow down a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have to rush right now.
We had 3 days off and made it to
Yeah.
just to visit.
There's a sense of urgency with all of the moves that we make. It would be nice to be able to just go like, I don't feel like driving, I'm just gonna stay here.
Yeah. So we don't have an answer to part 2. We can just answer for what we've already done.
Yeah. But coming up, once we launch, stay tuned for that. All right. And the last question that we're going to hit is something that strikes a little bit of a sensitivity nerve for a little bit. Is it safe out there on the road?
And that's safe for us.
Yeah.
Because safety is always a concern from everyone, but we do live in a time, and there are people throughout the country that doesn't necessarily, they're not fond of just families like ours. So it is a question a lot, like, are you going to be safe to travel to some of these places? And honestly, we have asked that question. We just kind of keep our spidey senses up. And if we feel anything that says, nope, time to go, we just leave.
Yeah, I mean, this is America. And unfortunately, but fortunately, us getting to see America for what it really is, there are some great places. And there's some ugly places that are just festering with some weird things going on right now, especially after this Charlie Kirk assassination. There's tensions in different climates and stuff. And so whenever we go to a place, like she said, the spidey senses are up. The ancestral senses are also up. So it's like, hey, as soon as we come into a space, if you get that feeling, it's you know what, I don't think this is for us. And we need to find a harvest hose somewhere. We need to hit Walmart or whatever it is, but we're just not going to stay here today. We're going to go somewhere else. And you make that move. And that's the beauty of carrying your house with you, is that you can just make that decision, right? You can just move on up out of there. If you're in a sticks and bricks and that's just around you just got to deal with it, right?
Yeah. I'll say we only had to do that a couple of times. For the most part, most people have been very friendly, very nice. Every now and then, if you're in a city or a state where there is not a whole lot of diversity, they will stare and wonder. I mean, RVing in general.
Yeah.
They'll get head tilt sometimes, but definitely in those areas where we're not the typical family you see, they'll look, they'll ask questions, but for the most part, they've all been like super nice, super friendly.
Yeah.
So right now, we're saying mostly yes, it's been safe. And
the RV community, for the most part, at least from our experience, has always been helpful. We haven't run into anybody yet that's like, knock on wood, that has been, a nasty type of person to us. Like, everybody wanted to help out. If we were stuck on the side of the road, if we were on the side of the road just eating, people would come over and go like, are you okay? And it's like, oh yeah, we're fine. We just needed to take a break or something like that, right?
At camp this summer, the girls' slide got stuck, and there was 3 or 4 families that came over and helped us.
Yeah.
One of them was an RV tech, so he helped us get it back on track. It was.
Yeah.
I don't actually the RV community has been amazing.
There's been a very strong sense of family within the RV community. Yeah. But it is still America. We're still Black Americans, so there's a discretion that we have to have in certain places.
So that's 9 questions that we have been asked about our travels and kind of what it'll look like. If you have any other questions for us, drop them in the comments. We will respond. We usually try to get to it within a day, but kids' life and sometimes parent means that it may take a little bit more, but we try to get to all of them in a day. Ask us any questions. We're open book. We don't have anything to hide.
Yeah, our journey is your journey. Home is wherever family is.
Home is wherever family is.